This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mint, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to reality. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Good 4th of July. Hopefully the sunburns aren't too bad. Mine's not great, I'm not going to lie, Kyle. Shoulder's feeling a little red this morning. We got a lot to get to today. You know, the story of the weekend ended up being the red cards in the World Cup. And obviously the World Cup has been going on for a few weeks here, close to a month, if not beyond. I felt like this weekend was truly, this is now the main story of what's going on in the sports world. Because we had the NBA finals, we had the Stanley Cup finals going on when this thing kicked off. Then we had free agency, we had all these crazy trades. This weekend was we're throwing this thing right in your face. The World Cup is the biggest thing that's going on right now. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's probably a lot of people out there like, yeah, it's the World Cup, Ben. It was already to that point. It's kind of the whole point of it. I hear those people. But I think this weekend it took a step further to where it's captured everybody. Even the non-sports fans now know exactly what's going on in this World Cup because of the things happening off the field. We've got the United States top goal scorer, Balogun, gets suspended and then unsuspended. It's the only thing anybody could talk about on Friday and Saturday. And then yesterday we find out Belgium's trying to appeal. It's this whole mess. It's this saga. And it's captured the eyes of everybody. And it's led to this must-see television tonight. United States taking on Belgium. We'll talk about that at the 10 o'clock hour. To start out the show, though, we should probably have a little bit of a Tigers reality check. Because they won another series over the weekend against the Texas Rangers, right? That's 2 series wins in a row. First, you beat the Yankees in a sweep. Then you beat the Texas Rangers in a 3-game series. And just like that, you are 10 games below 500, 40 and 50, 90 games in, 72 games left. Right now, these are not my numbers. These are numbers I've pulled from different sources. On Fangraphs, which is a projection based on your team, how well they think you're going to perform, all of it, the Tigers have a 25% chance to make the playoffs. Vegas thinks happens 3 or 4 times in 10 outcomes. I think there's a 30 to 40% chance that the Tigers end up making the playoffs. Pro Reference, which is math only, every game is 50-50 odds. They're a little more bullish on the Tigers being 10 games under. They have it at 11%. So let's say it's 20%, taking all of those into consideration, which is honestly, based on what Vegas thinks of them. Vegas is always right. Based on the model that projects the roster, it's honestly being a little more bullish than I'd even like to, or a little more bearish than I'd even like to. Let's call it 20%. There's 22 games left until the trade deadline. They've had a 600 win percentage since June 1st. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 chance that this team can make the playoffs. My grandmother called me this weekend, Kyle. We were talking on the phone. She loves the Tigers, diehard fan. She told me before Verlander even had his first start, he looks really old. I saw a picture of him. I don't know about Verlander, and she was spot on. I called my grandma, check in on her. She said, "Ben, can the Tigers make the playoffs?" And I've been telling people for weeks, no, this team cannot. They're way too. They're not good enough. Okay, congratulations. You have an awesome starting rotation. The bullpen's not good enough. Half the lineup is barely Major League Baseball players to begin with. But then they win this weekend series, and I'm on my phone with my grandma, and I'm like, I don't think that they're dead yet. There's 72 games left in the season, you know? They're 5 games out from the wild card spot right now. A 1 out of 4 chance that they could make the playoffs. I know the odds are not in the Tigers' favor, Kyle, but I think with 22 games until the trade deadline, also you and I both kind of in agreement that the trade deadline doesn't have to mean that their season's just over. They could use it to spark some offense and bring some offensive players in replacement of Tarek Skubal. I don't think that they'll necessarily make the playoffs. I'm not going to go that far with them being 10 games under and so many teams to pass in the wild card race. I'm not just going to sit here with 72 games left, and give up on the season, though. You're telling me there's a 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 5 chance that this team can make the playoffs based on these models and these calculations, and there's still 72 games left. We're just over halfway in the year. Am I supposed to just sit here and not believe in it? Like, am I supposed to sit here and root against them and think that there's 0% chance and be disgruntled towards the team that I root for? No. So what I'm telling you to open up this Monday show is, yes, the odds are not in the Tigers' favor, but it is still just a little bit too early to give up on this team right now. I want to trade Skubal no matter what. Let's make that very clear. They could win their next 12 games in a row and all of a sudden be over 500 and be in contention to have that first place team in the division. I want to trade Skubal. It's the right thing to do. But I don't really want to trade Casey Mize. I'm not going to commit right now to trading Casey Mize and Gleyber Torres. And by the way, Gleyber Torres currently isn't swinging a baseball bat because of a second oblique injury of the season. So as of right now, he has 0 trade value. No one's trading for Gleyber Torres. And the Tigers have a winning record when Gleyber Torres plays. So maybe the trade deadline goes by and you actually can't trade Gleyber Torres and he comes back and has that same impact. Casey Mize pitching well right now. Tigers have perhaps the best rotation in the American League at this moment. And oh yeah, as of this weekend, they have 3 offensive all-stars, all of which playing pretty well right now. Kevin McGonigal, Dylan Dingler have 2 of the top 5 F-WARs in the entire American League. Riley Green is the first 3-time all-star since Miguel Cabrera for this franchise. 3 times he's been named to the all-star game. He's not even 26 years old, ladies and gents. Consistency. He's always there. Career highs in OPS, average, walk rate. The rotation, .72 ERA if you take out the Framber Valdez starts the last 2 times around the rotations. Nitpicking stats there, but stick with me for just a second. The last thing that was like, I don't know, man, the bullpen's still pretty bad. Keider Montero has settled into a pretty nice role coming out of the pen. 3 different appearances out of the pen, 6 1/3 innings pitched, a less than 2 ERA, a less than 100 opponent a batting average, .6 walks and hits per inning, a save and a win in those 3 appearances. Again, they dug themselves a hole that more likely than not is still just too much to overcome what they did to themselves in May. But with 72 games left and 22 games until the deadline, I'm not going to sit here right now and decide that the season is over. I know you have differed from me in that way, and I, for the most part, have been pretty bearish about this team and their odds to do anything as well. But something changed my heart when my grandma asked me if they were going to make the playoffs or not. I'm not just going to tell her that there's a 0% chance with 72 games left when all these models say that there's about a 1 in 4 or 1 out of 5 chance that this team can do it. And Vegas thinks it's even more likely. They think it's like 4 out of 10 chance.
Oh, Ben, you broke the number 1 sin of life.
Oh, no. What is that?
You lied to your grandma. You don't
I did
lie
not
to
lie
your
to
grandma?
Her. I didn't lie to her.
It's the number 1 person on planet Earth you can't lie to. You always got to give them the forbidden truth, no matter what it is. The Tigers, to say like they're not out of it, sure. That is not a lie.
I told her it'd take a miracle.
That's the thing, because you say, well, there's 72 games left in the season. I would disagree.
It's 22, isn't it?
There's 22 games left in the season. For the Tigers and for all these teams that are not in contention right now, it has to be split. It has to be looked at as two different segues or two different segments of the season. And right now, the Tigers season ends on August 3rd. And whatever they can do up to that point decides on what the second half of their season looks like. I don't disagree that you can make trades, and you could trade Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize. Those guys play 1 out of every 5 days. They play 2 out of every 5 games. Like, you could trade both of those guys and it still not affect the team that much. The Gleyber Torres thing, you're right. He's not even playing right now.
Yeah, so he has zero trade value right now.
But I'm saying you could trade him even. Like, they went 5-1 on these last 2 road series without Gleyber Torres. You know, like, you could trade all 3 of those guys and still be fine going forward. But it doesn't change the fact that they're still 10 games under 500. There's still 7 whole teams ahead of them in the wild card race. I understand they have the head-to-head with the Athletics this week. Sure, that's one of 7 teams. Like, you're still relying on so much more to happen other than you just winning, which is the worst spot to be at. And I just don't want, I'm with you in the fact that I hate to be the pessimistic fan of, I don't want to root against my team, but at the end of the day, the more and more they keep doing this, not fake winning, but this winning that is kind of leading to nothing.
They could get cold feet about trading Tarek Skubal.
Exactly. Scott Harris and the rest of this front office could look at this and be like, wait a second. And every time they win a game, unfortunately, that's where my brain goes. My brain doesn't go to, wow, this is fun. The Tigers, they're winning games again. Let's go. It should go to that because I'm a fan of the game at the end of the day.
See, that's where the reality check I'm doing comes in.
Yeah.
It seems as if you're rooting against the Tigers. You say that you're not, but you get a little scared that they're not going to trade Tarek Skubal for every single
100%
win that they have. I'm telling Tigers fans in this moment, yes, it is a long shot. You are more likely to not make the playoffs than make it. I don't think you should just give up and start rooting against this team and be fearful every time that they win. It is still a good thing when this team wins because they're not quite dead yet. It's unlikely, but if I told you 9 games into a 17-game NFL season, hey, you got like a 1 out of 4 chance to make the playoffs. What, are you just going to start rooting against them every single Sunday and scared that they're going to have a worse draft pick?
No, it's different in the NFL. Right? Each and every game has much more of an impact than each and every game in baseball.
Sure. But what about series in total? Like, I look at this series against the Athletics this week. Yes, there are 7 games ahead of them in the wild card standings. They could pass 4 teams as soon as this week, depending on what happens with their series against the Athletics. They're within 2 games of the next 4 teams. So suddenly they could be, if they just win 2 of the 3 games against the Athletics this week, they're 3 games out from a wild card potentially with only 2 teams ahead of them. That's on the table for this week. It could flip just like that. And I know, like, you say it like that, it sounds really easy.
But it could flip to what? Okay, now there's only 8 teams ahead, or there's only 6 teams ahead of them in the wild card race?
No, I'm telling you, this week they could pass upwards of 4 teams, depending on what happens. If they just beat the Athletics head-to-head, 2 of 3 games, it's more than likely they're going to pass more than 1 team. They could pass as many as 4, depending on how this series goes.
Right, but that's the thing. It's all could. They could have passed 4 teams a week ago as well because they were in the same exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is we've kind of been cycling through this for a couple of weeks now, and they've been playing great baseball. Like, it's not like the Tigers have been bad, but think about how we felt going into the Houston series last week. Like, oh man, this is a real opportunity for them to do this, and then they lose that Houston series, and we're like, oh, okay, never mind, it's over now. And then they win these back-to-back road series, and now we're bought back in. It's just we're cycling through this at such a rate right now that I hate the up and downness of it, and that's why I'm trying to commit to one side, but I don't want to give up on the other side. So it's a tough balance.
So here's where the reality check comes in. What is your relationship with this Detroit Tigers baseball team right now? What are you even rooting for to happen the rest of the way? Are you rooting for them to just continue losing so it guarantees them being sellers at the deadline to ensure that the future is bright for this team? Are you rooting for them to win every single game the rest of the way? Because I'm certainly not going to tell you can't do that if you're a Tigers fan, because there's 72 games left. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. Or here's where I'm at. Obviously, I'm hoping they win every game, but I still hope they trade Tarek Skubal. All of that is still on the table. You can trade Tarek Skubal for bats to help the back end of your lineup because 3 All-Stars, McGonigal, Dingler, and Riley Green, all of which playing very well right now. It's the bottom of the lineup that really struggles. If you can trade Scuba for some offense and some prospects, you still have a top-tier rotation. You still have Montero out of the pen and Melton pitching the way that he is, and maybe you hold on to Casey Mize. Depending on what happens to Jack Flaherty, we'll see what happens. You still have Jackson Jobe potentially coming back in August. He's throwing 100 miles per hour in batting sessions right now. And that's a guy who you think can come back and show some serious signs of a nice addition to this rotation. I'm not just giving up on the Tigers season. I think that's where I'm at. Is it likely that they make the playoffs? No. But it's still too early to just give up on a 1 out of 4 chance. You shouldn't just turn away from a 1 out of 4 chance to make the playoffs. And that kind of seems like what the Tigers are based on a lot of different win models right now. So where are you with this Tigers team? What's the reality of the situation you live in with this Detroit Tigers team? 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Live here on 100.9 The Mitt. You know, maybe it was just the 4th of July, Kyle. I was in a great mood, and that just led me to be a little bit more optimistic about this Tigers team. And then they could just fall flat on their faces this week, and we're right back to a different sort of reality. But as of right now, after this weekend, 4th of July, Tigers win some big-time W's. I feel as if the season is not over yet, and to call it over is a bit premature. That's all. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. The 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. They help businesses solve real tech problems securely, efficiently, and without the headache. So when your IT is working the way it should, everything else gets easier. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I'm being called out on the text line, Kyle. Got a text that says, so
By
last...
your grandma?
No, not by my grandma. Says, last winter, you were adamant that the Tigers, if the Tigers traded Skubal, you would never follow this team again. Now you want the Tigers to trade him. Which one is it? Good self-awareness. Good call out by our texter, Ken.
Okay, but also, like, I think it's fair to be able to change your opinion with more information, right?
I think you're correct. Here's what I would tell Ken. I didn't think it was fair to give up on Tarek Skubal and the entire season prior to the season starting. You had to at least try this season. I didn't want to throw the towel in on a season before it even started. Now, this season has played out dramatically different than the way I thought it would, with being 10 games under 500, 90 games in with a 14-50 record. Also, the Tigers still have a losing record when Tarek Skubal pitches since last September. That is now a much larger sample size than it was last year, because it was always, well, the Tigers have an above 500 record when Skubal plays, and they can't win all the other games. They're an average team or sub-average team when he doesn't. That is flipped to where the offense needs more help, and the pitchers around Tarek Skubal are pitching as well as they ever have. That is where I've come around to have a different conclusion. And I think I always have the right to change my mind a little bit, you know? Can't be held to every single take I've ever had. You got to call out the good takes too, right? If you're going to call out the bad ones.
And I also think that the Tigers have fell into the same group as well, right? Like, they weren't going to trade Tarek Skubal last year. They weren't going to trade him a year ago or in the offseason. And now that this team, they went all in the offseason to try to build a World Series team. It hasn't worked out. And now we have the likelihood that Skubal does get traded.
What actually is the likelihood that Tarek Skubal does get traded, though? Like, knowing Scott, obviously the math would tell you, yeah, it's the right thing to do. But what are the odds Scott Harris and the Tigers get cold feet with this and end up not doing anything at all? Because I don't think that's totally off the table. They were so committed to having a one last year, last dance type of situation with this group. I think that's why they went all in and got Verlander and got Kenley Jansen to really make this a feel-good story for the fans. If they keep winning over the next 22 games, is there a world where they get cold feet and they're just so deep into this thing that they basically double down on this year being a last dance year? Because I feel like there is a very realistic world where that ends up happening.
I hope it's not that realistic, because it's probably still under a 3/4 chance. You know, it's probably 25% or lower, similar to their odds to make the playoffs. Like, it's still just the wrong decision. It's still an irresponsible move to hang on to Tarek Skubal, knowing that you're not going to re-sign him.
Would you say that if they were 10 games above 500 right now and they were 50-40?
Of course not. You're 10 games up. You're leading the division. You're going to make the playoffs.
Keep going.
Yeah, of
Keep
course.
chugging. Row the boat.
It's a 20-game difference than what they are right now.
Yeah. It's unfortunate the situation that they found themselves in, because I think you and I both agree this is not a 40-50 ball club at the end of the day. The roster and all those projections, all those models, whether it's Vegas or Fangraphs, I think kind of confirm those feelings that we think that this roster is better than what the record suggests that they are, which is why I'm not just going to sit here with 72 games left and say that the season is over. That's my reality check on things. Is it unlikely? Yes. But I'm not going to look at a 1 out of 4 chance to make the playoffs and be like, well, there's no point in rooting for this team to win anymore. No. I'm not telling you that it's crazy to root against the Tigers. I feel like you're telling our audience a little bit more, yeah, you should be rooting against them.
I'm not rooting against them. Like, I want to get that clear. I just think that be fearful getting wrapped up in these wins that truly don't matter in the moment.
When do they matter, though? Like,
after
you and I
the
set
trade deadline.
You and I set a couple deadlines in terms of like what's going to make us buy back into them. We should do that again right now. What's it going to take for them to actually start mattering again? For you to take this team seriously and be wanting them to win every game?
Like, they have to be in a playoff spot. That's how real it has to be. Because I've continued to take this stance and I won't waver from it. I don't care about anything other than getting to the World Series. Scraping your way into the playoffs, I could care less about. We've seen that the last 2 years with this team. I could care less about losing in Game 5 of the American League Divisional Series to the Guardians or the Mariners or whoever it's going to be again this year. Like, I don't need that again. What I do need is this team to have some sort of a future, because right now they really don't. They have a short-term future, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this. I think next year they're set up pretty well, pitching-wise. Yeah. Obviously, you have McGonigal as your foundational piece, and Riley Green, like you mentioned, being a 3-time All-Star now, back-to-back-to-back seasons, very impressive. Dylan Dingler is the catcher of the future. You have a semi-nucleus in the short-term future. But if you look at this team's farm system and prospect pool, it is very, very weak. And to not use this as an opportunity to rebuild that for the future, all for a let's scrape into the playoffs maybe, we have a 25% chance to maybe win a wild card round. That's not what this team, the goals were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but
we have to remember what they were.
Just got to get in, and then everybody's got to, the records go back to 0-0.
Can this team win a World Series right now?
Can anybody in the AL win a World Series? Let's answer that first.
I mean, yes. The team that gets in the World Series can win the World Series, yes.
Is there any team in the American League that you think the Tigers simply cannot beat? Because I might say that about the Dodgers, but I don't think there's a team in the American League that I think they just simply could not beat because of the rotation, even without Tarek Skubal. First 3 guys in let's go a 7-game series. Who are our 4 pitchers in the first 4? Casey Mize, Troy Melton, both pitching extremely well right now. And then I guess after that, post-deadline, we're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
Flaherty and
I would assume Flaherty's
Skubal.
For sure gone.
Well, let's just go Mize, Job, Melton.
God, we think Job is in the first 3 of a starting playoff rotation.
Or Montero. Let's go Montero instead.
Okay. It's probably still Framber Valdez.
Framber.
He's still in the top 3 in a playoff series, no doubt.
Hopefully he can figure it out at some point this season because there's just no way he's this bad for 3 years.
Right, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. The issue is they're not even in that position right now, and they're not even relatively close. Right? Like, they have to get into a position to say, oh, we could beat any team in a playoff series. Okay, you got to get in the playoffs first.
So is that the mark that you're setting? If they're in a playoff position, you will be 100% back in on this team.
If they somehow get their way into a playoff spot where they are like that third wild card team, or somehow, some way, they make up 7.5 games to be first in the division by the trade deadline, which is less than a month away, so AKA it's probably impossible, then I'll totally flip it. But it's just the irresponsible decision to make to not sell.
So realistically,
all to scrape your way into the playoffs, maybe.
Making the playoffs is making the playoffs, so I don't really understand that part of it. Unless you think they truly are
Look at how this team has performed in the playoffs the last 2 years. Like, do you have any hope that they can get by? This team is worse than the last 2 years.
I disagree. They're worse at the record at this point.
50.
I know, but they're worse in that their record is much worse than it was a year ago today.
Some point, that
but
has to matter.
McGonigal and Dingler have to matter this season too.
At some point, 40-50 is just their record. Like, we can sit here and say, yeah, they're better than their record. Okay, but that is their record.
Correct, which is why I'm saying as long as you just squeak in, everybody's 0-0, and you can't treat them like an under 500 team.
I just have no reason to believe, based off of the last 2 years of the way this team has performed in the playoffs, for a full series, specifically the offense, because I think the pitching has been pretty good in the playoffs. Specifically the offense, I have no reason to believe that they can go further than they have the last 2 years, and they're not even in a position to do that right now anyways.
My piece of it, recommendation as to why they might be able to go further. They have 2 of the top 4 WAR guys in the American League, and one of them wasn't even on the team last year, and Kevin McGonigal. And Dingler's obviously a brand new player compared to what he was last season. That's why I would say that they're better than they are this year.
And the manager you love so much, and AJ Hinch, is still managing this team?
He's regressed. Right? He's regressed in a lot of different ways. 989-837-6125. So yours is going to be, your goal for the Tigers, for you to be all back in on them, is be in a playoff spot. They're 7.5 games out from the division. They're 5 games out from a wild card berth. I look at the schedule here. What do we got? 6 games left until the All-Star break, right? So only 2 more series left? Yeah.
Next week, I believe, yeah.
This week? You have 2 home series back-to-back against the A's and the Phillies. 5 games out right now. Can you cut that in half by the All-Star break? Can you be 2.5 out from a wild card spot by the All-Star break? Then all of a sudden you return from the All-Star break, and I'm feeling a lot different.
That's like winning every game territory. Like,
is it?
I mean, winning a game does not where the Tigers are currently in the standings does not reflect the way that they've been playing. Like them being 5 games back, they were 6 games back a week ago. You know, like after they lost the Houston series, they've gained 1 game after going 5-1. Like that's how difficult it is with the amount of teams that are ahead of you.
If they win 4 of their next 6, I think they'll for sure pass the Athletics, assuming that they just take 2 of 3 against them and then 2 of 3 against the Phillies. If they can pass the Athletics this
could
week,
just go 3-0 in the series after that.
They could.
There's too much out of the Tigers' control is kind of the point I'm trying to make.
But there's not. With 72 games left, it's not just out of the Tigers' control. They do control their own destiny still. As long as they play awesome baseball the rest of the way, they're going to give themselves an opportunity.
Yeah, as long as they're literally the best team in the American League for the rest of the season.
Since June 1st, I saw their win percentage.
I did see that. Isn't it best in baseball? Or best in the AL? It was something like that.
The stat I saw was since June 1st, their win percentage, if you just take that the rest of the way, they'd end up with 83 wins. 83 wins? 50-50 chance you're in a playoff spot?
In this American League, it could. Yeah, Tigers PR. Since June 1st, we are first in the American League with a 58.6 win percentage, and that was before Sunday's win. So,
and they just keep smashing home runs, which is going to help in a lot of different ways. Riley Green almost cycled yesterday.
Yeah, dude.
With an amazing catch in the outfield as well.
That catch, by the way, I think that actually was the best catch of his career.
I was just going to say that because a lot of the other diving Riley Green catches.
Yeah, they're still great catches. They're just kind of unnecessary dives.
Well, they're necessary for him. A great outfielder would just get underneath him. That play
was
yesterday was Superman.
A line drive. Like, how did he make that play? Yeah, that was an amazing play. And then
the advanced numbers don't love Riley Green.
Walked him.
Yeah,
in his final at bat when he needed a double. Like, are you kidding me?
He's got intentionally walked twice in the last 2 series, hasn't he? People don't want to have a lefty-righty matchup versus him at the end of these games.
I hate the intentional walk.
You would just get rid of the entire intentional walk?
That'd be my rule. Get some balls, throw to him.
Would you like the old intentional walk rule where you have to throw the 4 pitches?
Okay, I do like hey, we're going to walk this guy. I do like that part of it because
but they should just get rid of him in general.
Having to actually throw 4 pitches, I always felt was really stupid.
What's the football equivalent of an intentional walk? Like letting someone get a first down? But what incentive do you have to let someone, like letting someone score, basically?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it would be letting someone score a touchdown so you can get the ball back because there's only 20 seconds
but
left.
that doesn't happen very often.
No, not really. In
intentional
the NBA,
walks happen a pretty good amount.
Intentional fouls in
intentional
the NBA.
Foul, but that's you're doing that to hurt them. You know, like, oh, this guy can't shoot free throws, so it's like a double team, I guess.
Or it's you're up by 3 and you're fouling.
That's what an intentional walk is.
That's the worst thing of all time.
Yeah, yes, you're right. That the fouling up 3.
If you're a coach, like I'm talking to all the high school coaches in the area, NBA, anybody. If you're fouling up by 3 with less than 30 seconds left, come on, man. Teach your kids to play some defense.
I mean, it is the smart thing to do. But I agree in youth sports, it's kind of we're doing this in youth sports now.
Yeah. Have them play some defense.
It is the smart thing to do in college and pros, though.
Well, we're way over the time we're supposed to be to go to break, so we're going to do that now. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt, locally owned, proudly family operated. That's Ace Hardware and Sports, your go-to spot as we gear up for the midst of summer. Stop in on East Main Street in the heart of downtown Midland. Ace Hardware helping you get ready for the season ahead while supporting your community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Do you still think the Tigers have some life in their season? We'll get to a couple of messages, and then we'll hit the news here. Nolan says Cleveland was 13.5 games out last year after the All-Star break and won the division, so of course they can, only being 5 games out from a wild card spot, 7.5 out from a division. FYI, Scuba isn't going anywhere, and stay off the wagon. You declared yourself off, so you're not jumping back on this one.
Wow.
Calling me out.
I'm
not welcome back on the Tigers.
Nope.
It's not even a hype train right now.
Get away. Not allowed.
I've been banished.
Rejected.
Been exiled from the Tigers community. John says, yes, as long as they start taking care of business when they play Chicago and Cleveland head-to-head, I think that this team can very well get themselves back into the mix. That's the thing, too. I know we said that the last time they played Cleveland, and hey, one series here and you can get yourself back into it, and they just are never able to beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
But you are kind of one series away from being within a puncher's chance of winning the division. And you swept the White Sox the last time you played them.
That's the one take I will kind of agree with. Their better way of getting in the playoffs is winning the division. Like, I know that they are less games out in the wild card, but I still am just not going to trust a full White Sox series division winning thing. I'm not going to fully buy into that. Cleveland is just going to end up being 3 or 4 games above 500. That's just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to outwork them, and you can't beat them. And unfortunately, you don't play either of those teams pre-trade deadline, which is pretty unfortunate. But I think that's their best angle of getting in, if you are going to fully buy into it.
Maybe this is just what happens in the AL Central. Every single year, it's actually a bad thing to be leading the division at the All-Star break. Somebody's going to blow it eventually. Russell says, I'm going to say yes because this is the AL Comedy Central. That's clever, but they have to go on a run beginning now. They're 5-1 in their last 6 games, so hopefully they can build on that. Yeah, what if all of a sudden this weekend goes by and it's like, hey, the Tigers are 8-2 in their last 10 games. And it's like, oh, they're actually the hottest team in the league going into the break. It's tough to go into the break feeling negatively or bearish towards them if that's the case.
Like if they go 5-1 again through this next 6, you're saying?
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're 10-2 in their last 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it'd be difficult.
The Phillies are a tough team.
It'd be difficult for me to just be like, yeah, I don't care. It would get to a point where it becomes too much to ignore. That's for sure.
Ken says, yes, but this won't be easy. The relief pitching is murdering us. Good news. Kaiser Montero, he's been excellent out of the pen. Can't throw him out there every day, but when you do, when you throw him out there in the 7th inning, you can just leave him out there the rest of the game.
I love how they just have been committing to that.
There's a luxury of having a long reliever.
Option. Now, obviously, I don't think it's a good thing that Kaiser Montero has shown up to the bullpen and in a week is just easily the best reliever.
Yeah.
That's kind of a reflection on the state of the bullpen because it's also not sustainable. Like, Kaiser Montero's not a reliever. You want him in the starting rotation at this point. So it's a good and a bad thing, I guess.
Did you see Kenley Jansen's splits at home versus on the road?
He's just way worse on the road, right?
He has an 8.64 ERA on the road and a 2.7 ERA at home. He's allowed 4 home runs on the road in 8 innings, 8 1/3 innings, and he's only allowed 1 home run at home in 13 1/3 innings. He's just way better at home.
Good thing they got 6 games at home before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
we have a couple YouTube chats I'll read quickly. Chris, completely out on the 2026 Tigers. Trade everybody not named McGonigal, Dingler, or possibly Green.
No, we're not doing that. We're not even entertaining trading an all-star.
3-time
all-star before turning 26. First guy since Miggy to be a 3-time consecutive all-star.
Mr. Tiger, too. I mean, that's pretty good. Esco says, yeah, I'm out on them. The only reason I pay attention is when I'm betting against them. Look at the bottom half of the batting lineup. You added 1 bat to this lineup who couldn't score in 14 innings last year.
Who was the bat? McGonigal?
I think so. I would assume that's who he's referring to. And then Luke says, nobody expected this season to be this bad. Everyone was expecting 500 plus at least. with Skubal plus rest of the bullpen plus bats from last year. Team is just underperforming in the month of April and May and overperforming in June.
So can water find its level? And where is it? I think we're about to find out. All right, Kyle, take it away with the news.
The Mets Morning Catch.
All right, let's get right into the news. A lot going on this weekend other than just the Tigers, of course. Let's look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. USA versus Belgium tonight, and there's a watch party at Nord Social.
Wow.
So if you want to go to Midland's local soccer bar, it's at 8 o'clock tonight, USA versus Belgium.
You know, you and I were there for their round of 32 game, and they won. Now,
pretty sweet in there, man.
After a 4th of July weekend, I wouldn't mind staying at home tonight, but also I feel like I have to be where I was the last time to keep this streak alive. And hopefully they can continue winning. And if they win again, you got to go back again for their next game.
It's almost like the 4th of July festivities are being extended
one
going
more
into
day
tonight. So, yeah, you can go there if you want to watch with a group community that's all rooting for Team USA. Team USA, the only host country that still remains, because yesterday as well in the round of 16, we had Mexico last night eliminated by England. England hangs on to defeat them 3-2. This is a really weird match. England goes up 2-0 like right away. And I was like, oh, okay, I can probably just turn this off. Then Mexico scores immediately right after. England does end up holding on after a couple more. A penalty kick that was from them. They win it 3-2.
Bonkers game, though.
Unfortunate.
It was 3-1, and this was right after Harry Kane had the penalty kick to put him up 3-1. And I was like, I still don't think this game is over because they're down 10-11 the rest of the way.
They had a no, or Mexico had the extra man. Yeah, that's a good point.
It kind of felt like, and Mexico made it a little closer by scoring that goal, and all of a sudden it was a one-goal game. And the way that this World Cup has gone, where it feels like every game I've turned on has been this, hey, last 10 minutes, some crazy stuff's going to go down. I totally thought Mexico was going to be able to pounce their way back into it. Harry Kane and England move on.
Sad.
I am way more into this tournament right now than I was last Wednesday or Thursday.
It feels like, I mean, I've gotten pretty bought in.
I have too.
Ever since the knockout rounds have started. I've been watching like nearly every match.
Yeah.
Because they're fun, and I think there's a lot of characters that I enjoy to watch, like a lot of stars, and outside of just the Team USA game. So I've definitely bought in. It seems like you have as well.
Who's your favorite guy to watch?
I mean, it's probably the guy I'm about to talk about right now. I'm hopping on the bandwagon of everyone else. Erling Haaland and Norway reached the quarterfinals for their first time ever, defeating Brazil 2-1. What an interesting guy. What a character this guy is to watch play. He scores twice, and right now his 7 goals in the World Cup are the most by a player in his debut World Cup since 1974. Poland's, I can't say this guy's name. I won't say it right. Lato is his last name. But he has more goals in his debut World Cup than Messi did, than Mbappe did, and Ronaldo combined, actually. All 3 of those guys combined in their debut World Cups. Unbelievable guy to watch. He dunked on a guy in soccer and scored a goal. It was crazy.
He looks like he should be on Dragonback Sunday nights on HBO, first of all. Second of all, 3 weeks ago, before I was like truly bought into this World Cup, my girlfriend was like, I love Erling Haaland. I was like, who is this? And I Googled him. I was like, you like this guy? This guy is weird looking. He's like a caveman.
Really? So she put you on?
And I was like, okay, like, I don't really see it with this guy, but sure. And then yesterday, it's like, oh, this guy is crazy. It's like, you know, the JMO fast where he gets full speed and it's like, oh, this guy's just a little different than everybody. That, what you're referring to when he dunked on somebody else, I saw like a lightning bug. Not a lightning bug. Those move slowly. But like something that represented lightning, the way that he moved and got up into the air and then, as you said, dunked on someone. He is way faster than everybody else. It's weird.
Yeah, and he's huge.
And he's a monster, yeah.
I saw a YouTube video, too. Like, he's gone pretty viral in the last several weeks since the World Cup has started. So I like, saw a lot of him before I was really even watching the games. And obviously, like you and I, we don't watch the Premier League. He plays in the Premier League, so people know who he is, obviously. But I saw a YouTube video of, like, his diet, or just, like, his his appetite that
Is
he
this
goes
like a
throughout
Patty
the day.
Pimblett diet?
It's one of those like 6,000 cals type of everyday diets, just something crazy. Yeah, I mean, this guy is just he looks like an ogre, but he's got long hair. People are dressing up like him with
Looks
the
like a
long blonde
Targaryen.
hair. Whatever that means.
He scores his goal, and everybody else like runs around and pumps their fists, and this guy just like sticks his mouth out and like drags his teammates around like his knuckles are dragging against the ground. It's crazy. Yeah,
he's extremely fun to watch.
Yeah, he's captured the eyes of everybody. He's the biggest winner of the tournament
100%.
so far.
Become like a crazy fan favorite. He's got 50 mil on IG right now. Like,
I wonder what he had before the tournament.
He's hilarious too. Like some of the stuff he posts, he's like a little kid.
Yeah, he's just the guy.
Yeah, he's a jag. Yeah, exactly. Kevin says Holland is a cyborg.
He might be.
That's pretty good too. Okay, let's move on in the news because there's more than just soccer going on. But we do have Portugal versus Spain as well today at 3 before the USA-Belgium game at 8. So that's obviously a huge one. Spain was, I believe, the top favorite coming, or maybe France was, one of the two coming into the tournament. Portugal with Ronaldo. So extremely huge match at 3 p.m. today ahead of U.S. tonight.
Iberian Peninsula battle.
That's a good point.
Share a border, these two countries. So this one's, I don't know. Maybe it's the equivalent of like
is it like
a Mexico
us
or
versus Canada, kind of?
Yeah. I don't know
if there's a rivalry there though. I'm not from over there, so I don't really know.
It's got to be somewhat of that.
It's got to be a little
Canada,
bit.
U.S.
Yeah, I would think so. Neymar also announced his retirement from Brazil following their loss yesterday.
By the way, when they were down 2-0 because of 2 Erling Haaland goals, and then they all started fighting each other. First of all, did you know that they put a rule up this year where if you cover your mouth at any point, you get an automatic red card?
What do you mean?
If you cover your mouth to talk, you get an automatic red card. They banned that this year because of how many like slurs and derogatory terms were used in this tournament the last time around. So you're not allowed to cover your mouth anymore. The reason I bring this up is because don't you like between the whistles, it is crazy how much they just get up in each other's faces and push each other. They're allowed to do what feels like almost anything. And what I'm referring to here, because you brought up Neymar, they're down 2-0. He ends up scoring on a penalty kick, and he just runs right up to the goalie and just points right in his face. Some guy ends up on the ground, and he's like pointing down at him. They go at it.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much they're allowed to get away with.
I mean, there's so much emotion on the line, so but you're right. I mean, it seems like they are able to get away with a ton.
Except covering your mouth when you're talking.
It's true. Let's just do a couple more things here in the news, and we'll save the rest for later. Michigan 5-star commit Brandon McCoy sticking with the Wolverines, as well as basically everyone. Quinn Costello is the other big one that has yet to announce his retainment to Michigan. But at this point, I would assume he's coming back. What a great job from Mike Boynton Jr. and the rest of this Michigan staff to retain everybody up to this point, because seems like they're going to be locked and loaded for next year.
It was a great 4th of July news for the Michigan fans out there. I do wonder how much credit Mike Boynton gets versus how much credit nobody should get for simply, hey, there's nowhere for you to go anymore. Everybody else already has their team. We're already this deep into the process.
Right.
So I'm not
Can we give
exactly
Dusty
sure.
May credit?
Yeah, for waiting so long to leave.
Does that feel a little like crazy to give him credit?
I mean, he's the one that brought all these guys here in the first place. I think it's crazy to not give him any credit for all of this.
True. He was right, man. We got nothing to worry about.
989-837-6125. More on the World Cup, more on the United States and how they're crashing the FIFA World Cup party when we come back for the 10 o'clock hour.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mit. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. 10 o'clock hour. Let's get things rocking and rolling. I want to do a little World Cup topic for everybody. So red cards became the story of the entire weekend. Friday, all anybody could talk about was Balogun getting his red card, being suspended for the next game. Saturday was the 4th of July, so kind of a timeout from the World Cup. And then Sunday was Erling Haaland and the red card that happened in the crazy Canada versus England game Sunday night, where that was probably the most watched. What did I say?
Canada.
Mexico and England. That was probably the most watched tournament game we've had so far, other than a United States game, I would imagine. Sunday night, there's not a lot else on. It's Sunday Night Baseball, but I feel like everybody was kind of tuned into that England-Mexico game last night. There was another red card. And in the midst of all of that, FIFA announcing that they're suspending the suspension of Balogun after the governing body of the host country contacted FIFA. Okay. We're officially the bad guys. We're crashing the parties. We are here. I don't know if we're the bad guys to everybody else. I'm not sure we've earned the respect to be the bad guys to teams like England and Norway and France. We're probably not good enough to be the bad guys to those teams. But there's certainly one team in one country that we are the major villains to, and that is the team they are playing tonight, Belgium. They view us as the big, scary bad guys now. Not that we're so much better, but that we're being treated unfairly. The suspension gets suspended for essentially no reason, other than it sounds like the president of the United States contacted FIFA. And by the way, FIFA rents out a room or a floor or some sort of office space in Trump Towers in New York, so they're paying Trump rent to do their business in America. So he gives them a call, and all of a sudden he's unsuspended for this game. It's a little fishy. It's more than just a little fishy. It's 1,000,000% fishy. America just happens to be on the right side of that. And that's why I'm saying here that America is crashing the World Cup party in a lot of different ways. I'm sure Fox and Peacock absolutely love this. Oh, they're like, sure, bring them back. Make this an entire story for this weekend. It's only going to bring more eyes to us by the time Monday rolls around, so they're in love with it. And by the way, this 10K broadcast on Fox is unreal. I feel like I'm watching it in a movie theater in my own home. Regardless, this is America crashing the World Cup party. It has already happened. It is happening again today. This, I'm sure, will be the most watched game of the tournament so far, with America as the host country tonight going up against Belgium. This has now become more than just a sports fan type of thing. This is now beyond just soccer. This is a cultural game tonight. America jumping in, crashing the World Cup. Their president pulling a Trump card, pun intended, of bringing back their best player who's not really supposed to be playing in this game at all tonight. I'm fine being the villains, Kyle, as I've said to you many, many, many times. I'm fine being with the villains. It makes for way more fun of an experience for a fan, because when you're the villain, it usually means your team is pretty good. We're yet to find out if America's truly a great team in this tournament. This was kind of always the line. You had to win one knockout game, and then anything beyond this is where we'll see what happens, what this team's truly made of. If they win tonight and punch their ticket to the quarterfinals on the back of an unsuspension or a suspension of the suspension and getting their best player back because the president of the country made a call to FIFA, there's a little bit of main character energy that's going to come into play. And I think it's rightfully so, because even though they're not the favorites to win the entire thing, they are, in fact, one of the host countries. They do, in fact, have the most publicity covering them at all times. And they'd be punching
they're
their
the
ticket.
United States,
And
too.
they're the United States.
Just throw that factor in.
Punching their ticket to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002 if they win tonight. I'm fine being the bad guys. I'm just wondering if everyone else has accepted it yet and can see what happened this weekend is pretty much just as bad as, or if not worse, than any NFL game in which you have claimed is rigged over the last 5 years. Anytime you've been like, well, that was suspicious, whatever happened here. Whatever just happened with Balogun over this weekend is way worse, because our president called a company or an organization and was like, hey, let's make sure that doesn't happen. And it worked. It worked. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, any time that the president gets involved in a ruling, and then the ruling is changed because of the president getting involved, when the president already is an extremely controversial figure in itself, and now it gets added into this controversial situation. Like, imagine if the United States is to win tonight, we can assume that Balogun scores a time or two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and we assume
how
Belgium
controversial
is
that
going
to be?
freak
Did you
out.
see Belgium already said? I mean, Belgium is already freaked out about this.
Correct.
Their coach has already been like, yeah, this is an April Fool's joke. Like, this is not real. This is fake.
Well, they've appealed the unsuspension of the suspension. Like, even that sentence alone, it's like, what are we even talking about here? The unsuspension of the suspension has been appealed by Belgium. There's about 12 hours. There's 10 hours until the game plays. And I guess as of right now, there's still not a 100% guarantee that Balogun's going to play because of Belgium's appeal to the unsuspension. Like, what? What is happening?
Yeah, it almost feels like a different league that we talk about all the time on this show that has no true rules to it and has no true leader that can step in and make a decision and stand on it.
College
like
football?
the NCAA, right?
It is very
It's
reminiscent.
giving NCAA. That's what I'm saying with this whole FIFA situation, because it feels like I already saw somebody tweet this morning, like, oh, Belgium plans to put like all of their best people on this to appeal this and get this figured out by tonight. And somebody quoted it and was like, dude, we got Trinidad Chambliss like through his 10th year of eligibility. Like, we could get through anything over here.
I also don't know who you're appealing this to FIFA, who is probably just going to give in to the host country, and
of course
Fox and Peacock, which are located out of America too, which those two companies probably just love everything that's happening.
He will be playing tonight. This
for
decision would not have been reversed. Well, and then it's not even technically reversed because they hit him with the, yeah, but if you do get another yellow or red card, then you're out he's on probation for like a year because of this, and it's a double or nothing essentially. If you do it, then the penalty is going to be like really, really bad. Which is sure, I guess, but yeah, this is just an example. It is corruption at the end of the day. Like what is happening right now. It's basically the definition of it. You know, an outside source getting involved that has power enough to flip it in favor of the country that he is rooting for, I guess, technically would be the right phrase.
I don't think there's any I guess about the team or country that he's rooting for in this tournament.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, can't we all agree that it was the wrong call? This is the right decision from a on the field standpoint, right? We all agree,
yes.
Even the people of Belgium, right? They have to. Take your bias out of it. That should not have been a red card. It was a reviewed red card. That shouldn't happen. I'm not a soccer guy. All of the soccer people that I have talked to think it's baffling that a review and then a red card happens. So it is the right call at the end of the day. But this would be truly, would this be like Saints-Rams NFC Championship game 2017 or whatever year that was, after the game, them just being like some rich guy who loves the Saints calls into the NFL and is like, hey, by the way, that pass interference that didn't get called, it should have been called. Let's reverse that right now. And then everything's changed?
I think the better example is the 2016 NBA Finals. Draymond kicks LeBron in the nuts, and he's suspended for Game 5. And then a day before Game 5, it's like, actually, he's not suspended. We don't actually know if that was a technical foul yet.
It would have caused an uproar.
We don't know if it actually hit LeBron in the nuts, so we're gonna take a little bit of more time to review this.
Hit him in the groin, actually, which isn't as bad.
Yeah, and Joe Lacob, or whoever was owned the Warriors at that point. It was Joe Lacob, right?
I think so.
Whoever owned the Warriors or someone had an immense rooting interest in the Warriors just called Adam Silver and was like, I don't think Draymond should be suspended for this one, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. And then Draymond's suspension got unsuspended. Like, that's what that is. Or Isaiah Stewart after the fight that him and Jalen Duren got into against
but also
Hornets.
Just multiply it by like 1 million because this is the World Cup.
Yeah, international affairs.
And it's the U.S.'s best chance that they've had in so many years. Like that. All of the external factors that come into this make it an extremely, obviously controversial decision that everybody has their own opinion on, and probably everyone outside of the United States feels that this is wrong. I mean, do you know the last time that a red card has been rescinded?
I don't think it's ever happened, has it?
1962.
In a World Cup?
In
That's
the
last time?
World Cup, yeah.
So 60 years.
That's unbelievable.
We're for sure the bad guys to Belgium. Again, I don't know if we're the bad guys yet to teams like France and Argentina and Norway, because I don't know if we're good enough to be the bad guys. I don't know if we've earned their respect quite yet. I would imagine the answer to that is no. But if Balogun scores a goal tonight, are you at all going to feel guilty? I think we're getting away with something here. I don't know if I will. I'm unsure of how I'll feel when Balogun scores a goal tonight. Because on one hand, it's like, oh, let's go. Like, the guy who should not have been suspended, didn't get suspended, scored a goal, and is going to help the United States move on to the quarterfinals. Plain and simple. And on the other hand, there's like a guilty conscience of, I don't know if he's actually supposed to be out there or not. It feels like we're being handed something.
I know. I've already seen some people take the stance of, he should just not play either way tonight.
Why would he do that?
To morally be correct?
No, I don't think that's an option.
That's like the dude in the commercial, man. I touched it, coach. It went out on me, coach. Or I touched it, ref.
Shut up. Shut up.
It's a championship game, but it went out on me, coach.
I'm unsure of how I'll feel about this, but I know I know the response that'll happen from World Cup fans, especially not from America after Balogun scores a goal tonight. We're getting handed things on a silver platter. The president of the United States is coming in and interfering with this World Cup in an unfair way.
That's a good point. I haven't really thought about that. If the United States does win tonight, is there any, the true huge soccer fans? Because Ben and I are just hopping on the bandwagon here. We're not hiding it. The true, diehards, is any part of you going to be ugh, we won, but
yeah, at what cost?
Exactly.
We kind of just especially if it's
we kind of cheated to win.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is that this is kind of cheating?
Well,
right?
I know the Michigan fans out there don't give a damn about that. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Do you have a guilty conscience about Balogun coming back?
We got a lot of YouTube commotion here, so we're gonna have to get to that next.
Perfect. We'll get to that. We've got our number as well to text into 989-837-6125. Ben Bosscher Show live on the Mid, 10 o'clock hour, brought to you by Aird Insurance. At Aird Insurance Group, by the way, great social media channel that you guys can check out. They're all about putting you in a better insurance position. Whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage, they make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of your insurance, this is it. Again, be sure to go follow Aired Insurance on social media to stay connected every day and see how they're helping people along the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, you said that YouTube was blowing up over this Balogun situation, whether or not he should or shouldn't be playing tonight. Obviously, I'm okay with him playing, but I'm not going to lie to you, Kyle. If he scores a goal tonight, and he probably will if the United States is going to win this game. I don't know how I'm going to just naturally react to that. There might be a little bit of I don't know if that should have actually happened, because I think the word corruption you used in the last segment is, I mean, it sounds dark. It sounds extreme. It's for sure what happened with this entire Balogun situation, though.
It's just the definition of it, and that's what people in our YouTube chat are saying. Vice says, yeah, it's absolute corrupt BS. Revealing that Americans embrace the corruptions says a lot.
Is Vice American or not?
I don't know.
That's the thing, because it's like, I would imagine most of our listeners are American. Maybe not on a day like today.
I would assume so.
So, like,
if not, that'd be kind of cool.
Are we content with winning this way, or is there a guilty conscience where it's like, man, I think it only lasts one round though, right? Like, if they win this and then just like keep winning, I don't think I'll still feel that way later on. Belgium's gonna think they got screwed the entire time.
Which, I mean, like they did.
Should.
They did. Like, it's not like they're gonna feel like they did. They just did.
What else are people saying?
Gary says, typical American view on sports. Something unfair happened. Complain and change rules to make it right rather than just deal with it and move on.
When
sounds like
when else
Brendan
has this
Sorsby, right? Is it?
Yeah, but
once again,
changed.
NCAA.
Yeah, I guess this is it American sports, or is it simply college athletics? Which I guess are strictly an American sport. But this doesn't happen in the other leagues where we're suspending suspensions because a governing force comes in and says unsuspend him. Although it did kind of happen.
Suspension got taken down.
You know, this did happen in the freedom fight as well. Remember when Taporia just should not have gone out there for another round and they called the fight? They were like, yeah, it's over. And then what I assume happened is President Trump was like, wait, we're not ending this thing, right? Because he was sitting ringside. And then Dana was like, no, keep fighting. And it was like, wait a minute. Why?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, that I feel like is a little different.
How was it different, though?
Because that was a event literally built for the White House. Like, this is the World Cup. This event's not built for America.
Same principle, though, of somebody coming in and changing what should be happening according to, the rule book of whatever organization is putting on the event.
Sure. Our guy Brant Beach, he says that Balogun should not be playing. He says Belgium is appealing it, but who knows if it'll come through before the game, but I feel Balogun should not be playing. And I assume he's rooting for America.
Yeah. Now the question is, do you actually think Balogun had a true red card, or is it simply, well, he got a red card, so you can't overturn the red card? Because you and I first had thought when he got the suspension and he got the red card, it was like, oh, FIFA's out to get the United States. FIFA's out to get the United States, and maybe that's just victim mindset, but...
Well, I think it was more so just like really, man, we're the host country, and like, aren't we the ones that are supposed to get a little bit of a favorable whistle?
Well, I guess I had a larger conspiracy that was the rest of the world had already seen us win a gold medal in a sport that wasn't ours this winter with the Olympics, and now FIFA's like, well, they're not taking over in soccer too, so let's get them out of here. Let's suspend their best player.
Bit more grand scheme conspiracy there.
I think I give it a 10 out of 10 conspiracy. I like it. Even if it's not true, I like the conspiracy.
Right, I give my own
it.
conspiracy a 10 out of 10.
But now it's like, it's almost like Trump thought the exact same thing and was like, well, let me talk to him. You guys want to move out of this building in Manhattan? You want double rent? Oh, if you don't want either of those things, you're going to let Balogun play. I don't know if that's actually
a lot of people, are in our YouTube chat are just also mentioning how FIFA is just one of the worst run sports organizations there is. And it's fully run on corruption. So this shouldn't be shocking that this happened. Obviously, like, this specific event is pretty shocking that it happened, especially a day before the match. Like, I do truly wonder, does this decision ever even get thought of or made if the president doesn't get involved?
Does this decision get thought of or made if it's a different country? I guess it's kind of the same question, but just a different way of asking it.
Probably not, right?
If this happens to England, the exact same play, is there an appeal for the red card that actually gets handed out? Like the game yesterday, the England game. England goes down a player, gets a red card. Okay, that player's suspended for the next game. Is there going to be some sort of appeal? Probably not. The United States is getting a little bit of unfair treatment in this.
A little bit might be, maybe a lot of bit.
A lot of bit of an unfair treatment during this process with the Balogun thing. Again, I think it was an unfair red card, but it was a red card nonetheless to reverse the call. Again, it'd be like if Draymond 2016 finals kicks LeBron in the nuts, and then the next day they were like, Draymond, you're not actually suspended. We'll see if we suspend you next year in the regular season or not. Like, wait a minute. I don't think that's how this one's supposed to work. Anything else in the YouTube chat? I want to know what Kevin's saying.
Kevin's not saying anything.
Really?
Yeah.
It's surprising.
I know. Maybe he's just kind of watching it all go down. Wiz Key Taylor does say Ronaldo had his red card suspended so he could play for Portugal in the opening games. So I guess this has happened.
But not in knockout play.
Right.
In the last 60 years.
Which that one in 62 happened before the championship game for Brazil, which is like pretty crazy.
Logan said on our text line, the right call was made at the end regardless of how it was done. That was absolutely not a red card. So a little bit of a justice situation Logan's making a claim for. What are you laughing?
Vice just said, I guess King Charles could have called in for the England if it had to happen to them.
Drew said 100% Balogun should be playing, and shame on Belgium for their public crying. It's nice to see the U.S. reach a point in that major European countries are afraid to play us at full strength. I don't know if that's what it is. I mean, I would be upset too if I was Belgium. I don't know if they're afraid to play him, but it does seem like a major distraction for Belgium at this point.
100%, because now they just have the all-time, like, excuse card.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that,
got him
like,
lined up already.
It's already there. And anytime you already have your excuse ready to go before any play has even happened, that's not a good sign for your chances to actually win. Now they could use it as like motivation of just being like,
F these guys.
Yeah, like oh, we hate these guys now. Like we are in their own home turf.
Yeah,
we're going to take them down.
Is there like even odds for another red card tonight? Like they're for sure just baiting Balogun the entire time, right?
Oh, for sure. That's a good point. And like, how is this going to be officiated? Like, are they going to try? Is FIFA going to like take it easy because they know if he gets another one, then it's an even like way bigger hammer?
I'm talking to myself. I'm getting really excited for this game tonight. Two more texts. One says, 2 wrongs don't make it right. Classic American phrase, which is theoretically true. Like, just because you...
I thought 2 negatives made a positive.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that how math works?
And then Brian says, FIFA, fixing it for America. That's good.
Nice.
That's really clever.
That's really good. Because that's exactly what's happening.
I'm going to steal that. I'm going to start using that. All right, 989-837-6125. A little bit more on that when we return in the 11 o'clock hour. We also have to get to Around the League. That's when we come back. Your dream lawn, yeah, Cervinsky sod can quite literally roll that out. Top quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers, and they've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they're experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your entire yard, Cervinsky delivers lush green perfection, fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. Don't settle for a bland yard. Increase the value of your home and get the lawn your neighbors will envy with Cervinsky sod.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, Kyle, let's work a little American football into the mix with a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
I read a piece this weekend about the teams that have never won a Super Bowl. Who is the most likely to finally get over the hump and get it done? Now, I wanted to do our own version of that, but before we do that, let's make it clear who the 12 teams are that have never won a Super Bowl. Can you name all 12 teams? There's 4 teams that have never even been to one.
Yeah, I should be able to knock this out pretty easily. Well, your 4 teams that have never been to one, of course, the Detroit Lions, sadly, which they might be at the top of the list of teams that are closest to getting one. The Cleveland Browns, and then you have your 2 teams that are most recently introduced to the NFL, the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, correct?
Correct. Those are the 4 that have never been to one. The other 8 that have never won a Super Bowl. Do you know those teams?
Yeah, most notably the Minnesota Vikings, just because the entire city of Minnesota is pretty droughtful.
City of Minnesota.
Or, sorry, Minneapolis. They're pretty droughtful in their championships and their sports history. So the Vikings, the Buffalo Bills.
Correct. 4 falls.
Notably went to a ton of them in the 90s, 4 straight, but did not quite win one. They're probably my early leader for the teams that has to get one, but we'll get to that at some point.
Minnesota also has played in 4.
Yeah, so pretty tough look for them. Okay, I didn't want to look at the standings yet because I just want to try to rip them off the dome here. So I guess I'll just try to go through my head, through the divisions at least. The Atlanta Falcons won a Super Bowl?
No, they have not. They're one of the 12.
Yeah, I didn't think they had. Carolina.
Correct. They've never won a Super Bowl. Got real close with Cam Newton.
Made it early in the 2000s, I think, at 1.2.
Yep, 0-2.
Okay.
Falcons also 0-2. There's one team that's 0-3.
The Falcons made it again prior to the one against Brady? I guess I didn't know that. Okay, let me try to think of more like recent NFL. How many I got knocked out? Half? 8?
You've got 4. Yeah, you've got 6. No, you've got 8. You've got 8.
So I just need 4 more?
Yes. 3 teams have made it once. 1 team has made it 3 times.
The East has the NFC East has won all 4 of them. Dang, what a loaded division. I'm just running through the divisions right now. I've already got the North. That's the South. And then the West. The West has all got one too, right? No,
which West?
Wait a second. The Arizona Cardinals, they won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, they've never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, they haven't won one either.
0-1.
Obviously, the crazy Santonio Holmes catch in the back of the end zone, which people never talk about, by the way. I'm not a big Ben fan. It's one of the better throws in Super Bowl history.
Big Ben.
That back pocket, back of the end zone throw to Holmes to win the Super Bowl.
He's got 2 of them, man.
Okay, so I've knocked out the entire NFC. There's no more NFC teams left. AFC, though. I already did the Bills.
Yeah, there's 3 AFC teams.
Ooh.
And you haven't screwed up any yet.
No, I get the rest of the East. New York. And then New England. Yeah, no, not them. Oh, it's got to be... no, the Colts, not them. The Tennessee Titans, though. But okay, wait. I don't know if the Houston Oilers won.
I'm just going to give you the Titans. They're one of them.
Okay. Because I obviously, I don't even know if the Houston Oilers had won one, and I didn't know if that counted as them or not. Okay, so the Titans, boom. So it's got 2 more in the AFC. go to the West. Not Chiefs. Not Raiders. Not Broncos. Who's my other team? Oh, the Chargers never won.
Correct.
Yeah,
the Chargers have never won a Super Bowl.
Duh. Most cursed franchise there is. Okay, and then I finally go to, man, if I do this without even looking at the standings, I'll be pretty impressed. What's my last division? I just did the South. The North. Ravens. Steelers. Oh. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Correct. They are 0-3 in the Super Bowl. Those are the 12 teams that have never won it. You went 12 for 12. Good job. Buffalo Bills, Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Chargers, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, and Jacksonville Jaguars. Honestly, a pretty good amount of teams could theoretically get over the hump this year.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those teams are like relatively good.
I would say
it's still got to be the Bills, right?
Do we have to rank them all in order, or can we tier it off?
Sure, we can do that.
I think the Lions and the Bills are in their own tier of these are the closest teams we have to winning their first Super Bowl. The Lions and the Bills. Would you put anyone else into that top tier? Because I think there's a handful of teams that can be in the next one.
I was just going to say, I think there's a few teams that could argue. Are we like being biased putting the Lions in the top tier, or do the Lions belong in the second tier?
I think
with like the Chargers and the Texans.
Like the Bills were all that great last year. Their
sure,
defense
but
was pretty spotty.
I just think like them having Josh. But you're right. I mean, they've had plenty of opportunities and haven't got it done. So,
if anything, I would say it's not the Lions that should be bumped down. It's that top tier should be opened up to teams like
right.
It should be opened up to the Texans, Jaguars, and Bengals. Because I think that would be my second tier in all of this.
Yeah.
It'd be the Lions and the Bills at the top, the most likely teams to win a first Super Bowl. And then the second group would be maybe the Texans.
Like playoff teams is basically the second tier.
Yeah, Texans, Jaguars.
Like who knows what could happen if you get in the playoffs kind of thing.
Correct.
Because you probably will. Texans, Jags. Are we putting Cincy in that?
I think you probably have to.
That's true. They made it to like with technically the core that they have.
I mean, they've made it all the way to one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think the Texans, you go into this year thinking that you could very well have the best defense in the NFL, and if C.J. Stroud can be anything that he was as a rookie quarterback, you feel like you can get to a Super Bowl. Jacksonville, for the second half of last season, was the most balanced team in the league, I would say. They were doing everything exceptionally well.
They were the hottest team going into the playoffs.
Correct. Their quarterback was playing at an MVP level. New coach, so you're feeling good about the systematic structure that they're in. Travis Hunter. And then the Bengals, they just have their offense, superpower offense, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. So those are the clear five, right?
Yeah, I think Houston, like...
Oh, and the Chargers, man.
Oh, yeah.
The Chargers should be in...
Chargers are in this, too. I agree. I think Houston has, like, a case to be moved up to the top one. I'm just not as big of a believer as others, so I'm fine with them being in the second tier.
Why should any of the teams be below the Chargers?
No, I think
or ahead of the Chargers.
I think the Chargers should be in this group.
Like, should they be in the top group, though, is what I'm asking.
No. They play in the division with the Chiefs and Broncos.
Yet they're the favorites to win it, or the co-favorites to win it.
So?
I thought Herbert played good as you possibly can yesterday for not having an offensive line.
Here's why. It's the Chargers.
Yeah, they're cursed.
That's why.
Well, if that's the case, then the Lions can't be that high.
They haven't even won a playoff game with their current core. That's the case. And I know you could say the same thing about Jacksonville. Okay, last year was the first time they made it with this group. The Chargers have just like done this for 3, 4, 5 years now and have yet to win a playoff game.
It's fair. I think the way that Herbert played last year with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater coming back, plus McDaniel joining the mix, could lead to a pretty horrific offense for opponents. Like, in terms of they could be pretty damn good this year. The no chance teams, I would say,
is there a third and fourth tier to split these up? Like, is it? I think there is, because I think there's a third tier of like.
Well, can I go backwards and do the bottom tier first, and then figure it out?
Yes.
Because I think the Browns, the Falcons.
We're just doing for this year, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The Browns, Falcons, and Cardinals have 0% chance to win the Super Bowl, and then I would put The Vikings,
We're putting Atlanta with the Browns and Cardinals.
their quarterback is Tua or Michael Penix. Yes, I am.
That's fair.
I think they're better than those other two teams.
I also think that Tennessee should just be in that group. I know we think they're going to improve this year. Tennessee won 3 games last year.
Sure.
Like, they're not winning the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I would agree with you. I'd put the Falcons, the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Browns all together.
Okay.
And then I would have Carolina and Minnesota in its own tier that would basically be just
Like,
probably not. Almost all
weirder things have happened, I guess, category. I don't think weirder things have happened,
I was going to
but-
say I'm not actually sure weirder things have happened, but they're not as bad as those other two teams.
Right.
Like Minnesota could be 500 this
And
year.
honestly, maybe Minnesota should be like, maybe Carolina even deserves to get thrown down in that bottom tier, and Minnesota should just be alone in this third tier. But I guess we'll give it to Carolina since they were like in the playoffs last year at least.
Yeah, reigning division champions.
Yeah, and
at 8 and
none
9.
of those other teams were. Yeah, I think that works out.
Minnesota's slightly frisky going into the year, I would say.
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to be
way more
surprised if
frisky
they're
than
8 and
all
9.
those other teams.
Yes, I think they're the best bad team on this.
Which, like, I guess I was going to say I'll check playoff odds, but probably Carolina and Atlanta have better chances just because of their division.
I would imagine Minnesota's the least favored team in the NFC
Oh,
North,
for sure,
right?
For sure. But I also just like them more than I like Carolina or Atlanta.
Yeah, they might be the best fourth place team in the NFL this year.
I would think so. I think the Raiders could have a case. But other than that, yeah, I would probably agree.
That is around the league. Hey, we talk about having the home field advantage all the time on this show. Well, if your home or business uses propane, the company with the advantage is Forward Energy. Since 1925, they've been serving our local community with propane and fuel solutions for homes, businesses, and local people. Reliable service, that is Forward Energy, part of the home team.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
What is up with all these injuries that are happening during celebrations? You just showed me a video during that break. One of the players from England last night broke his arm trying to leap over the barricade to celebrate with his team after one of the goals. Obviously, one of the more notorious ones is what's the name of the closer who came out and injured himself celebrating during the World Baseball Classic? Edwin Diaz did that a couple of years back, celebrating a win in the World Baseball Classic. What is up with are the emotions just so high that you like forget basic human functions, like how to hop over a barricade fence that I'm sure he's hopped over 1 trillion times, and there's just too much going on? You forget basic human functions that make you an athlete, and you slip and fall and break your arm in a disgusting way. Is that as simple as it is?
I guess it's just I think it's more so just a freak accident. I don't think you forget how to like jump over something. It was probably just a freak incident. Jordan Henderson, who was used he was an unused substitute against Mexico. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, viewer discretionary advised.
He is out for the rest of the tournament for England, which is tough because it was like during celebration. Like, what a tough blow, whether or not it's your best player or your worst. Like, to go from the ultimate high of advancing to the quarterfinals, and what a win it was, as much as like it's fun to make fun of England and everything. Like, they went to Mexico. They went to their home turf and beat them there. Like, that's got to be very difficult to do.
Did you see fans were lighting off fireworks at the hotel?
Yes.
Of the hotel that the England players were staying at?
Like that is an all-time road victory.
Yeah.
True road victory right there. No neutral site about it.
Yeah. It felt very like old school. Like, yeah, we just showed up and took down this other country.
Like that. Like
it felt like a war.
The adrenaline rush and high that you get from winning that type of game, and then it's all not taken away, but it's just all like boom. One of your guys has a very serious injury happen during the midst of the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Can I tell you one of my like secretly not favorite parts, but a part of the tournament that I think is quite hilarious?
Oh, God.
At the end
Are you going to say, like, watching the losing team?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to go really weird here.
No, when these teams run out of subs, because you get 5 of them in the World Cup, when they run out of subs and players that should end up getting hurt, like basically after the 90th minute mark, people are dropping like flies. And if you don't have any subs, people just have to lay there the rest of the time. Did you see yesterday in England versus, England-Mexico game? There was a player injured on the corner kick who just was laying there. And they were like, yeah, you're just going to have to crawl off the field and we're going to resume play. So they've got like the wide cam of like the corner kick, everybody's setting it up. And there's just one guy doing the Family Guy on the sideline where he's like, it looks like he's dying out there. And they're just leaving him out there to die. It's crazy concept that like no one can come check on these guys. They're just out there. They don't have a sub left. And it's like, yeah, we're just down a guy right now and nobody's going to go check on him. That happens in every game I'm watching. Like that game that went into like the 120th minute between Argentina and Cape Verde. Were you watching that one? People were
I was
dropping
not
like
watching that,
flies.
Unfortunately. I was just that was when I was keeping up with how crazy would have that been if Cape Verde was able to pull something off there.
The last 5 minutes of that game, anytime there was 22 people standing up, it was like a miracle. There was always somebody just down. It was like, and the announcers were so on top of it. It was like, hey, Cape Verde's got a chance here because there's 3 players from Argentina that are on the other side of the field just holding their leg. I can't imagine the cramping stuff by just running for this long in this sort of heat.
Well, and just like, and you having to like kick as well. Like it's not just the running. It's like a big part of soccer. I don't know if you knew
the kicking part of it.
Yeah. You have to kick it.
This was one sport I never played as a child at all because I was always so scared to go kick the ball and I was going to kick somebody's leg. I don't know how they do it and don't end up breaking each other's shins on a gamely basis. It's like mind blowing to me that doesn't happen more. But then I guess you have these horrific injuries like the Balogun stepping on the ankle that results in
or
not just a red card, but a player getting injured
arm when you jump over the thing.
See, that one I don't really. That guy's probably leaped over that barricade 1 trillion times in his life. I think there has to be like, I'm just so excited and so jubilant right now that we won the game that my body just for some reason failed me. And I don't really know the science behind it, but I have a feeling if that would have happened just 2 hours ago, he would have leaped over it perfectly fine.
Have you done any gambling on the World Cup?
I have not.
I have not
Actually,
either.
I parlayed the United States to win a game with Scotty Scheffler to win the last major, and that did not work out.
He got close.
He got very close.
Because I haven't either, and I'm just trying to wonder, like, I kind of want to, now that I've, like, invested a lot more, because I'm never going to, like, bet on something that I'm actually not, like, paying attention to. Now that I've become more invested, is the actual play, rather than just betting Portugal to beat Spain if you believe that they're going to do it, they're plus 180 right now. Spain, obviously, like, is still big time, like, they're plus 600 to win the whole thing. Is the actual play just betting Portugal to win the whole thing? They're plus 1,500 and Spain is plus 600. I'm just saying, I mean, they play head-to-head. You know, like, if you think they're going to win, is that the actual play? And then you'll just get a decent cash out there since it's plus 1,500 odds? Or do you just bet them to...
You want to know what it is? You do the rollover bet. If you actually think they're going to win, just take whatever unit you bet it on Portugal if you think they're going to win.
I'm also not saying they're going to, but...
bet all of it back on them to win the next game. Have you ever done the rollover? Like,
no.
Instead of...
Also, isn't their next game just, like, against the United States? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
so
yeah,
never
it
mind.
is.
Yeah, never mind. I'm totally out on that idea.
I think the play tonight is a Balogun goal. Plus 145.
Is that what it is?
I feel like that's just destined to happen with everything that's gone on with
sure.
him. He's always in a position. He gets good looks every single game that the United States plays in.
Yeah, it's plus 165 now.
So that's gone up 20 since this morning. I feel like that's the one.
What's the rundown on Belgium, people? Like, are they pretty good?
We need Leduc in the YouTube or somebody
expert.
to just let us know about Belgium.
We should have brought somebody on the show today to tell us about Belgium. That would have been the smart idea.
I know the guy could waffles. But the only thing I know about Belgium.
That's a good point.
Oh, so the day after the 4th of July, yesterday, Sunday morning, went out to breakfast, right? I ordered something called the Lumberjack breakfast. Kyle, I am a certified Gold Star member of Clean Plate Club. Like, I never just leave food to be eaten or to be left uneaten when I go out to eat. For the first time in years yesterday, I got this Lumberjack breakfast. It was like 3 eggs, toast, 2 mini pancakes, bacon, sausage, ham, and hash browns.
Oh, so you just went, like, ultra berserk.
I didn't finish it. It really wasn't that expensive either.
That isn't that shocking that you didn't finish it.
There was like, I probably ate 85% of it.
It's an unreal amount of pork.
I looked down at the plate. I was like, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to give up, but if I keep eating this, I think I might pass away. And either way, I got home and did pass away. I took a nice long nap.
Hey, honestly, though, you did that the day after, like you did that yesterday morning?
Yeah, like 11 a.m.
That's like
the 5th of July.
That's like the precise breakfast you need post 4th of July.
Yeah, breakfast of champions.
You need something like that. You need like the ultimate just garbage fest breakfast.
Garbage fest. It was all great stuff.
Oh, it probably tasted great, but like, how did you feel after it?
I don't think it was, and nothing specific about it was like unhealthy. It was just all of that at once was maybe a little bit of a calorie. What do they call it?
What's healthy if that's not unhealthy?
True. It was delicious though. So know that. 989-837-6125. More on the Detroit Tigers when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mid.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. I started the show by simply asking, what is the reality of this Detroit Tigers team right now? And what I told you was, well, you've got about a 1 out of 4 chance of making the playoffs. Fangraphs, which takes everything in consideration, the roster, how good you are, schedule, everything, the standings, they say you have a 25% chance of making the playoffs. Sportsbooks, Vegas thinks it's even a little bit more likely. They think it's about, well, it's plus 470 that they make the playoffs. So, or they're plus 370 to make the playoffs. I'm sorry. So if the season were to play out 10 times, Vegas thinks that 3 or 4 of those times the Tigers actually make the playoffs. And then simple math, 50-50 chance every game the rest of the way. Pro Reference's model would tell you there's about 11% chance to make the playoffs. 22 games until the All-Star break, right? You and I, Kyle, are both in agreement that the season doesn't just have to be over at the All-Star break. They can use the All-Star break to add some offense by trading away Tarek Skubal, and hopefully you continue winning on the non-Tarek Skubal days because that's only a one of every 5-day thing as of right now. Right now, you can't really trade Gleyber Torres, so maybe you just end up with Gleyber Torres post-trade deadline. Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, we'll see what happens with those two guys. You have Montero out of the pen right now. The reality of this situation that the Tigers have found themselves in is there's 72 games left. This team is obviously 10 games under 500, 90 games in. They have underperformed. It's more likely than not that they miss the playoffs. But the reality of the situation is they're still very much alive, and I'm not going to tell our audience to root against this Tigers team. It is perfectly okay to want to roll the dice and hope that 25% chance pops up as a playoff team. So no, I'm not going to tell you that this season's over. There's way too much time left to just be completely done with them. And my realization, that from this weekend where I finally put that together was a phone call with my grandma when she asked me, is the Tiger season over? It's like, yeah. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. There's still some life. There's 72 games left. I started talking myself into it. You are still very much out in the idea that they can mount together anything. So do you think there's a less than 25% chance of making the playoffs, Kyle? Or are you acknowledging that there's about a 1 in 4 chance, but you don't care about that 1 in 4 chance because you think trading Tarek Skubal is much more important?
I think there's a less than 1 in 4 chance, yes. I think it's probably more so around 20 and less than 20%. It's probably somewhere in that 18 to 20% chance. Technically a plus 370 odds is about a 21% on the just a percentage scale. It doesn't mean it's a 37% just because it's plus 370. And I also just think that you're right in the second half that sure, even if I did think it was still 25% chance that they make the playoffs, this or that. One, that's just it's still not a good percentage, right?
Correct.
I don't the 25% chance of the playoffs thing. That doesn't get my hopes up. That doesn't make me think, oh, they got a real good chance to get in. It's still every 3 or 4 times they don't get in. It's better than it was 2 weeks ago. I guess that's fair. But I just think that it's not as important as the mindset that should be had at the deadline. And I guess the only reason why I am still so adamant about it is that I am getting fearful that our front office is going to make the wrong decision because of all of this playoff percentage nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they could still ride this high while also selling. I think that they would have just the same percentage chance to get into the play. Now, obviously, once they get there, not having Tarek Skubal, not having Casey Mize, yeah, that's going to lower your chances of making noise in the playoffs. But it's still the right decision to make at the end of the day. Now, I did see someone else say in our YouTube chat, well, hey, I agree that they should trade Tarek Skubal. I'm not disagreeing, but do we really trust Scott Harris to be the guy getting this ultra return for Tarek Skubal.
Oh, brother, it's too late for that.
We've already thought about that, of course.
Can't fire him at this point.
Yeah.
If they haven't fired him by now, he's going to be in charge for the trade deadline, unfortunately. I would have pulled the plug on that a month ago, right after May, and been like, yeah, Scott, you're just not going to be tasked with doing this. But unfortunately, you're not really in a position to where you can find somebody else that can that is qualified to make the Tarek Skubal trade in the next month.
If Chris Ilitch hadn't fired Steve Eisman yet, then Scott Harris has got another 5 years.
Yeah, before he's even going to consider it.
Yeah.
So if you're making the case as to why the Tigers are going to continue winning and get themselves into a playoff spot, you start with the rotation. As good as any in the American League right now. 0.72 ERA by the rotation if you take out the Valdez starts the last 2 times around. So kind of nitpicking stats there. That's fine. That would be reason to keep Skubal, but I still don't really think they should do that if you're going to lose Tarek Skubal this offseason and some team is willing to pay a tremendous price for him. Just do it and don't overthink it. Now with Casey and Glaber, I think it's a little bit different. But even if you are going to trade Tarek Skubal, you can still make the case. Okay, the rotation's been excellent without him. Melton, Casey, and Flaherty have been fantastic. Valdez, you hope is going to find earth at some point. Montero's been excellent out of the pen. Maybe he comes back into being a starter at some point. You've got 3 All-Stars. That's got to matter to some extent. Kevin McGonigal and Dylan Dingler are 2 of the top 5 WARs in the American League right now. Riley Green's having a career high in OPS, average, walk rate. 3 All-Stars is not something to just scoff at. And you could potentially be getting Glaber back, who has 0 trade value right now because he can't swing a baseball bat right now. You could potentially be getting Jackson Jobe back. We haven't got a Javier Baez update in a while. Like, there are some cases as to why you think this baseball team is going to continue what they did in June rather than be who they were anything prior to June. I think that's more likely than not. The question has always just been, is the hole that they dug themselves too far to climb out of? And odds are that it is, but it's not that it's just over, right? There's a 1 in 4 chance that they actually do climb out of this hole. So for that reason, I don't want to tell our audience that they're not allowed to root for the Tigers and that it's hopeless anymore. I'll take that approach, and if they can cut it back to 5 games back from the wild card before the All-Star break with 6 games left, if they can just make that 2.5, I will be very much coming back from the All-Star break invested in this team.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't root for the Tigers. I also think them being 2.5 games back of a wild card spot in 6 games is like nearly impossible. You need so many other teams to lose.
But you play a head-to-head with the Athletics.
Okay, that's one of 8 teams that are in the mix. Like them being 2.5 games back, I don't even know if that is possible, honestly. So, because I'm assuming a lot of these teams probably also play each other in that mix as well.
If you go 5-1, you got a chance.
Sure, you have a chance to be 1 game better than you were a week ago.
You go 5-1, you're not going to be 1 game.
Ben, they're 1 game better when they went 5-1. They were 6 games back following the Houston series.
And I'm telling you, something will level itself out. If they can go 10-2 in 12 games,
just because you think that,
if they can go 10-2 in 12 games, they're not going to just make up. I think it's more likely than not they make up more than 2 games. That's all I'm saying.
They haven't made up 2 games in 2 weeks, and they've been playing good. Like this Wild. There's too many teams ahead of them right now. For that, that's why I just keep making this case of like the 25% chance is just, it's so jumbled because you look at every other team that is in this mix. If the Tigers have a 25% chance, then what does that mean that the Athletics have, who are ranked higher than the Tigers? What does that mean that the Toronto Blue Jays have, who are higher than the Tigers? Like, all of these teams have better playoff odds then.
I can tell you exactly what they are. So the Tigers have on Fangraphs, which I think is the best model.
Now, obviously, them being in the American League Central is probably going to help their odds a little bit more than a team that's like in the East that isn't going to catch the Yankees or Rays.
Yeah, Tigers are 24.7%. What team did you want? The Athletics? They have a 10% chance to make the playoffs.
Every team that's above.
The Fangraphs thinks it's more likely that the Tigers make the playoffs than the Athletics because of the division that they play in. And, again, Fangraphs just thinks the Tigers, and I think you and I both think that the Tigers are better than their record suggests too. And I know you at some point you just have to take them for what their record is. But May was so bad and they were so decimated with injuries that I think they're closer to a 500 ball club than a 10 games below 500 ball club.
Yeah, Athletics are also not playing as good right now as the Tigers are, so that probably plays into it. But like The A's are 5.5 games back of their division, and they're higher up in the wild card than the Tigers are. Yet they have a nearly 15% worse chance on Fangraphs. I just don't know how that.
I'm just telling you what they say.
I'm just saying, how does that make sense?
Because Fangraphs and myself think the Tigers are much better than their record suggests. That's why. They have 3 All-Stars. They have a rotation that's playing better than anybody else in the American League right now. They're finally healthy for the most part. If they can just keep playing how they should and how they played in June, they're going to pass a lot of these teams. Let me ask you this: do you think?
Is every team just going to be 500 the rest of the year? I just don't get this. Do we think all of these teams that are ahead of the Tigers are just going to be mid the whole year and the Tigers aren't?
I guess we'll see what happens post-deadline.
But other teams also can be good, too.
72 games left. Do you think by the time we get to 162-game sample size, they're closer to who they were in June? Or do you think they're closer to who they were everything prior to June? April, May combined.
It's tough. It's a tough question to answer because it depends on what they do at the trade deadline, of course.
Sure.
Right? And that's why I've kind of said, I think this should be split into, there's 22 games left in the season, and then we can do the second half after the trade deadline because I think that truly does matter. I mean, based off of the amount of guys that the Tigers could possibly trade. So
then let's do it with 22 games. Do you think they're closer to who they were in June with a 60 win percentage? Or do you think they're closer to who they were in April and May over the next 22 games?
I think they're closer to who they are in June. I agree. I don't disagree with you on that, but it doesn't the case that I'm trying to make and have been trying to make is it doesn't erase what happened in May.
Correct.
We can say the vibes feel good right now and they're playing good in the last month for sure, but it doesn't erase the fact that they're still 10 games below 500 or that there's still 8 teams ahead of them in the wild card race. All of that stuff still exists.
And what I would say to that is, yet there's still about a 1 in 4 chance that they make the playoffs with all of the hell that they went through in April and May. There's still just about a 1 in 4 chance that this team can make the playoffs. That's not enough for me to just turn my eye to and say the season's done.
That's fair. The reason why I continue to be worried is I don't want this to impact the deadline. If they didn't have 2 incredibly valuable assets that are on expiring deals in Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize, I would adapt the same mindset as you. I truly would. But the issue is, good franchises and good organizations don't do nothing at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tigers have essentially done nothing the last 2 deadlines. They've soft sold and soft bought at each of them, right? Trading for Kyle Finnegan last year. Okay, you kind of bought. You didn't really go all in.
I think they got worse at last year's deadline.
You traded away Jack Flaherty. Okay, you kind of sold. Good teams every year and good organizations, you pick one or the other. Oh, we're having a bad year. We're selling everything. We're selling all the expiring valuable assets. We'll recoup for next year. Oh, we're having a great season. Boom. Let's try to win the World Series. That's what good orgs do. And the Tigers, I'm just afraid, are going to do what they did the last 2 years and soft sell, or they're going to be things are going well.
Just trading Tarek Skubal and
let's
keeping
just run it out.
Some other people kind of soft selling.
No, I don't think so.
If you trade Tarek Skubal, you sold.
Yeah, I agree, but that you traded Tarek Skubal, that's a big sell. So let's go all in on selling. It's not doing all that you could.
I think trading Tarek Skubal at the deadline while still trying to compete to win the World Series and at least make a playoff spot is the actual
to win the World Series.
That's extreme, but to make a playoff spot while trading Tarek Skubal should be the goal for the Tigers the rest of the way. That would be my goal for the Tigers. Trade Tarek Skubal, get an awesome return for him while still being competitive over the second half of the season with 72 games left. And at that point, there'll be 50 games left. Is that possible? I think it is. The way your face looks right now, you're making that seem like it's impossible.
It's a pretty unrealistic goal, I feel like.
To compete for a playoff spot while trading Tarek Skubal?
I mean, it started off with winning the World Series, and you kind of dwindled yourself down a little bit there.
Making the playoffs while trading Tarek Skubal. I don't think it's impossible.
That would be an awesome achievement, for sure.
And I don't think it's off the table. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. America, they are crashing the World Cup party. I'll tell you why when we come back The 11 o'clock hour is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast. And at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned in Midland for decades. They treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. This Yiter Insurance Group will be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
So this World Cup is obviously taken over in a big time way. It's the number one thing that we have going on right now. sports, the NBA free agency has calmed down. The trades have calmed down. Stanley Cup is wrapped up. Baseball is about to hit their All-Star break, and the World Cup has just positioned itself to where obviously it's the biggest thing we have going right now in the sports world. And I felt like that really came to fruition this weekend with the red cards. America gets their red card in their opener game, and then it's the only thing anyone can talk about on Friday. It rolls into the weekend. All of a sudden, he's allowed to play. Balogun, it's going to be a suspension that's suspended, so he can play. Now, Belgium is applying that it actually does be intact, enforced by FIFA. We find out President Donald Trump has contacted FIFA, and he's the one that was like, well, I don't know. And pretty influential in that decision to allow Balogun to play, even though he should be suspended for tonight's game. And then yesterday, we've got a red card in that England game. I'm just wondering if everyone else is aware of what's going on. From American perspective, we have crashed the party that is the FIFA World Cup. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. To Belgium, we are the evil empire. And I'm not quite sure we are there for everybody else yet, because I don't know if everyone else respects us enough in the soccer world to fear us quite yet. I don't think we're there. But against Belgium, we're for sure the enemies. And if Balogun scores a goal tonight, I have a feeling a lot more eyes are going to be on America to where it's like, wait a minute. What happened? Because it feels like only more and more and more people are talking about, even though it happened days ago, it's becoming more and more and more of a talking point to the point where right now, the day of the very next game, it is still the number one talking point. Balogun's red card that gets lifted and then suspended, not suspended, Trump's involved. Now, by this point, everyone, even if you're not a sports fan or a soccer fan, knows about what's going on. And it's made for tonight being some of the most must-watch television of the entire summer. I can't wait. The way that this tournament has gone in general has been cinematic down the stretches of a lot of these matches. Unbelievable thing after unbelievable thing. This tonight is more than just sports. It's more than just soccer. This is a cultural event tonight, and I cannot wait to see how this plays out because America's probably the bad guys.
Yeah.
For tonight, they're for sure the bad guys.
Well, that's the thing. Like even without all of this drama, even if he had never gotten a red card before and he was just playing, or he was suspended and like it never got suspended, whatever the terminology is on that. If he was just out for this game in general, it would still be all those things that you mentioned. Like it would still be this massive moment for the people of sports, for the people of America, just the culture in general of the passion for this team. And then you throw this wrinkle on top of it. Like, it just makes it even bigger than it already is. And even, like, since we've started the show today, the Belgian Federation put out a statement saying they want an explanation from FIFA as to why Balogun is able to play and to why this has been lifted, because apparently it has not been given to them. They have not been given any sort of explanation as to why this happened. We basically just got, like, an article from The Athletic yesterday that dropped that says, yeah, like, they're just calling it off. FIFA themselves never really put anything out. This was all just a reporter-driven thing.
Which is crazy.
And I think Trump has already gone and made a statement today as well about this. So
basically saying you're welcome.
Well, just saying, like, as to what went down, like, as to, like, his process of talking to the people of FIFA.
I feel like FIFA has nothing to say because there's nothing they can say that wouldn't be self-incriminating. Right? Like, what are they supposed to say? Yeah, after talking with President Donald Trump, we decided that America should not have to suffer the suspension of Balogun. Like, any statement they put out about what actually happened would just make it look even worse because it would make it feel even more so like this thing is being rigged for America, which it kind of just is right now. And I was wondering if fans are genuinely okay with that. And if they're just like, yep, whatever's got to be done to win more World Cup games, let's just do it. Or if there's any sense of guilty conscience about the way that this has all gone down over the last 4 days. I have a feeling most people don't care. But I don't know.
Most people don't care about
that he shouldn't be playing. And I'm not trying to tell you that I have
most Americans?
Yeah.
You're probably right.
And I'm not trying to tell anybody that I have some moral high ground that's better than everybody else's at all. And I don't know. If he scores tonight, I don't know how I'm exactly going to feel. There might be a guilty,
I think I'm gonna
like
laugh. I think I'm gonna start laughing. Not in the fact that like it's haha Belgium, our suspended guy is playing and scored. More so just like I can't believe this is happening. Yeah.
But what do you can't believe it? Or like, isn't that the most fitting thing that could happen tonight? Like, I'd be shocked if Balogun doesn't score tonight, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's 100%. That's just how this stuff always works.
And I think your point about like no one really cares, I think they do. And I think people are kind of like dealing with this in an interesting way until the second the match starts.
Then they won't care.
The second it starts, all of that is thrown out the window, right? It is USA.
Yeah, screw everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's all it is.
Once the match starts, though, I think every other fan, every other team, whether it's your team France, team Argentina, Portugal, Spain, whatever it is, tonight might be where America truly does become the villains of this entire tournament, to where they become the main characters, even if they're not the favorites to win this thing.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if they can, because then they're just going to go into their next match
against Ronaldo,
Portugal, or Spain, and just be the major underdogs. So like, can you be you be the villain as an underdog? I felt like you really can't. And they're going to be like major underdogs.
Yeah. But then, like, okay, regardless, they become the main character of the entire tournament tonight, I think. And maybe that's just viewing it from an American
Balogun
lens.
Might just currently be the main character of the entire tournament, right? Like, obviously, he's not even close to the best player, but just from the headline perspective, like,
I can't believe what this guy's getting away with.
This has been unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once the game starts, I don't think I'm actually going to care that Balogun shouldn't be playing.
Once he scores, if so, like, I'm going to hysterically laugh, I think.
Because everyone else is hate. Every other country hates what's happening. Of course, they should. This is corrupt. The president of the host country contacted FIFA, and all of a sudden a rule got reversed. This is more rigged than any NFL game you've ever suspected being rigged. This is for sure corrupt. And I have a feeling, after talking about it with you for a couple of hours, the conclusion I've come to is it doesn't matter. We got a second chance. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as thanking the president for allowing this to happen, but it's what happened, so let's just roll with it and continue going and stack another win and get to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002. That's probably the mentality I'm taking tonight. I might feel a little guilty, self-conscious if I'm watching by myself. So I'm deciding right now in this moment I don't want to watch it by myself. I'm going to go watch it with a bunch of people who also are going to be just chanting USA.
I don't know how to feel about Belgium, because if I was them, I probably would be taking the same stance of like, this is stupid. Like, we're just getting totally screwed over. But also, what am I supposed to do? Feel bad for them? Like, screw them. We're playing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not supposed to feel bad for you. You're our opponent. But I kind of get it. Like, I kind of get the mentality that they're taking of like, hey, we're the victims in this. Like, what are we supposed to do here?
Yeah, neutral fan agrees with Belgium. United States fan, which is what I am, screw them. They're just complaining about it way too much.
Yeah, quit whining.
989-837-6125 will hit the news in their three traditions. When we come back, this is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland and making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create cleaner solutions for water, safer homes, and more sustainable futures. A company built on science but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, nonprofits, because being a good neighbor just matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. That is Dow, solving with science and standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We've got 30 minutes left together. To kick things off, Kyle's going to take it away with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Oh, what up, Kyle?
We're back in the news.
What's up, my guy?
We got a little bit of just slight breaking news going on. It's not that big of a deal, though. Rui Hachimura, free agent from the Los Angeles Lakers, is staying in Los Angeles, but he's going to the Clippers on a 2-year, $28 million deal. There was a little bit of Rui Hachimura Pistons buzz, very slight.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, this was a big-time 3-and-D player, shoots the three at a high percentage, semi-high volume, big body. So it would have fit in nice with the Pistons, but I don't know if he would have fit in post the John Collins signing. It felt like one of those two guys would have been nice to start at the 4, but having both of them, it could have gotten a little bit clunky. Yeah, still just have no idea who the Pistons' fifth starter is going to be, so there's that.
Yeah, I was going to throw this in the news as well. The fact that there was just no news for the Pistons this weekend. I was a bit surprised by this. The fact that Walker Kessler got his deal felt like the writing was on the wall for Jalen Duren as far as, hey, man, you kind of don't have any other options than to sign the contract that the Pistons want you to sign because you can't get a bigger one from anybody else at this point. And yet nothing has happened. Is this worrisome at all to you?
I don't think it's worrisome. I mean, there wasn't a lot of activities going on in general this weekend for NBA news, so I don't think it's like all that out of the ordinary that the Pistons didn't have anything happen to them. So no, I think everything's still going according to I don't know about plan A, but I still think the ultimate thing that's going to happen is Duren ends up back on the Pistons on a team-friendly deal. I'm not going to waver from that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just wonder if what the holdup is at this point, because I still do feel like the rest of the Pistons offseason is kind of just in a waiting game for Jalen Duren to sign his new deal with Detroit. So
that's the unfortunate part.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of waiting game in NBA free agency, today is the day that the moratorium is lifted at 12:01 p.m., a.k.a. All the deals that have been agreed upon will become official after 12:01 p.m. today. So that's good news because, one, that means that John Collins will for sure be a Piston, and we'll find out the true contract details about the partial guarantees and everything like that. Two, Marcus Sasser to the Mavericks, I think we're actually going to get that today. Every report that we've gotten in the last week about that is like, yeah, he's on the Mavericks now, but we just don't know the details of anything, and they're not going to make it official until the moratorium is lifted on July 6th. So that's in about a half an hour. So we'll see if, obviously I don't know if that's going to go down in a half an hour, but.
Pistons beat reporters step up. That's kind of what I'm hearing right now, right? Why do we not know anything about the Marcus Sasser deal?
True,
it's
nobody have
any
information?
information?
Been all national reporters. It's been Mark Stein basically just kind of assume. I mean, maybe it's not true though. So, I mean, I do relatively trust Mark Stein. So we'll see. But yeah, you're right. It's a good point. We did get another Michigan recruit news. It was not Quinn Costello. It was the 7'3" big man from Denmark. I'm already forgetting his name. I just had this pulled up. Marcus Moeller, yes. One of the few freshmen that had yet to announce their commitment. He is staying with Michigan as well. So I think Quinn Costello is the lone freshman left in that large class that Dusty May had coming in to announce his retainment to Michigan. I assume Costello will come back as well because I feel like him and McCoy are for sure going to be a part of the rotation next year. Costello was like one of their big-time guys they got before McCoy. So we'll see if he announces that anytime today or tomorrow or relatively soon. Other stuff going on in the news. The Tigers made a trade either last night or this morning. Not a big trade, though. Relief pitcher, one of our favorite names in the game, Woo Suk Go, who I think pitched here.
Can't be real.
Didn't he pitch here when he was with West Michigan?
Yeah, he did.
That's what I thought, because I felt like we were introduced to him then.
Looking at the scoreboard and being like, no way.
Yeah,
that just can't be his name.
Go traded to the Minnesota Twins for cash considerations. I was wondering why this was happening. Because apparently he's been pitching pretty well this year for the Mud Hens, but he has a upward mobility clause in his deal, which I don't know if every player gets this or not. He's not on the 40-man roster, and so there was a deadline if he does exercise the upward mobility clause that the Tigers either have to put him on the 40-man roster, and if they don't, they have to move him to a team that shows interest, if there is any.
The hell does that mean, show interest?
Showed interest, and so they traded him to him for cash considerations. That's from Chris McCoskey on Twitter.
How does one end up with that clause in their contract?
And maybe they all get it. Like, maybe it's something that they all get. That's maybe something I should know, but I never even heard of that until this point. So, shout out to Woo Suk Go. He's no longer in the Tigers organization.
Shout out to Woo Suk Go's agent.
Cornerback Rasul Douglas is signing with the Washington Commanders. Man, Tigers or Lions could have used maybe some DB help.
Did you see the Washington Commanders Brandon Ayuk stuff that went down this weekend?
Yeah, that saga has just been...
That guy's nuts.
He's now calling out Jaden Daniels?
And his mother. Saying that this is... I can't believe that. You're not even on an NFL roster right now, and you're saying on social media, once I sign with the Commanders, this is my team, Jaden Daniels. This ain't your team anymore. This is my team. And you can go hide behind your mom with it. Brother, you're not getting signed to that team anymore.
I thought those guys were boys.
If you had the slightest chance of getting signed with the 49 or with the Commanders, you just ruined that by calling out the quarterback saying it wasn't his team anymore. That team's never going to sign you. Neither is any team in the NFL now. So wrap it up. Your career is officially done. Go seek some help, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty psycho. Unfortunate to have him in a dynasty football league.
You may as well send him to waivers because he's never playing again.
Oh, what, do you want to pick him up? Or
Nope.
Pistons.
No. The guy that I'm debating sending to waivers is Travis Hunter, but I'm not doing that quite yet.
Yeah,
I think there's less of a chance that Travis Hunter's a bust.
Somebody would give you like a 5th-round pick for him.
Oh, dude, somebody wants to give me a 2nd-rounder for him.
For Hunter?
Yes.
Why haven't you traded him?
When someone was willing to offer that, I was like, maybe I should just hold on to him.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, maybe you should just do that trade. That's crazy. Pistons start their summer league Thursday. Las Vegas Summer League going on. It's just been the Salt Lake City version so far, where Yaxel Lendenberg starred in his debut. He had 19 points, 6 and 5 on 6 of 6 shooting and 3 of 3 from downtown. The Warriors have 2 different Summer League teams too, kind of weird. And he's playing on one of them. They played 2 games already. Had a fine game in game 2, but yeah, game 1, pretty great for him.
He's just going to be one of the main characters this season, isn't he? No matter what. Even if LeBron doesn't end up in Golden State, I mean, Golden State's always just a
Golden
team
State's
with
already,
expectations.
Exactly. And, think about the character. They already have Jimmy and Draymond there on top of Steph Curry. But just from, a character perspective, now you add him into that mix, yeah.
It's perfect.
It's going to be entertainment out there, that's for sure. Tigers off today. They start that 3-game series with the Athletics that we've been talking about tomorrow at 6:40. It's a Scooble bump day as well. 6 straight home games for Detroit leading up to the All-Star break. We'll close the news with this. Well, you did already mention they got 3 All-Stars named. That's pretty cool. Kevin McGonigal as a rookie. Feels like it's not getting appreciated enough as it probably should, man. McGonigal being an All-Star as a rookie is pretty spectacular. But we'll end the news with this. We got another report from our favorite NBA reporter, Brett Siegel. Kevin Durant is interested in playing with Cade Cunningham.
Keep that guy away from here, man. I don't want.
He's interested.
I don't want Kevin Durant anywhere near what the Pistons have built inside of not the clubhouse, but the locker room. That is a player who is great on the court, but
can we at least acknowledge he is a pretty damn good fit for what they need? Can we at least acknowledge that from a basketball perspective?
Sure, he's a perfect fit for what they need, but you have to consider more than just on the court stuff.
But
and with Kevin Durant, there's a lot of comes to a locker room and destroys the culture of it, characteristics of him. And there's a career of this. There's a history of this. Just follow the trail that he's left behind of burned locker rooms, burned organizations, coaches that end up fired. I don't want to partake in that at all. 989-837-6125. We got our 3 traditions to close out each and every show. When we come back, don't go anywhere. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Hey, quick heads up for all the parents and athletes out there. If you've got kids getting ready for fall sports. Can you believe that already? Or they're just rocking the summer activities right now. Great Lakes Spine and Medical has you covered with sports physicals. They make the process fast, easy, and stress-free. No long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel leagues, or rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local option to get it done right and on time. Appointments are easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we have 3 traditions to close out each and every show here on the Ben Bosscher Show. No different today. The first of those is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
USA. 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 USA money line tonight versus Belgium. What'd we get him at this morning? Minus 144?
Minus 122.
Oh, minus 122. Way better than I would have thought.
Yeah, and right now, I think it's gotten a little bit worse. So this is good for you. Never mind. I can't find it.
All
I think it was
same.
I think it was like minus 130 now. So that's when I last saw it.
This is I finally saw that tweet you were talking about of the Trinidad stuff. Yeah, I
minus 128 is what it is right now. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm willing to, for the sake of making sure we start with a win, because we lost on Friday because Chestnut didn't eat 72 hot dogs. Chestnut might maybe washed. Still
Chestnut, man.
Still better than everybody else out there, but not in his prime anymore at all.
Still is the GOAT, but certainly is like washed GOAT.
Like Lakers LeBron. Like 2023 LeBron, basically.
That could be it.
Still the best player. Maybe it's just like 2020 LeBron. Still the best player, but
yeah, but then
you're not the same
but
guy.
Like LeBron won the whole thing. Yeah, but Chestnut won the whole thing.
Still won, yeah.
He still won, but didn't even really get close to this over-under, yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we're not going to lose twice in a row.
Wait, did he eat 67 dogs?
Yeah, I think he did.
Of course he did. Never mind.
He's doing it for the joke.
Yeah, he did that on purpose for sure.
So I'm going to
won the week last week, though, so that's good.
That's good. I won the week, and now I'm just reliant on the United States to pick up a win tonight. And it feels like things are going in their favor with Balogun being able to play tonight. So, tail or fade?
Tail all day.
Perfect.
USA.
U.S.
Should have made an eagle noise for this soundboard.
It's like the 4th of July just gets to keep rolling into today, right? With all the patriotic stuff.
It does.
I think I'm more patriotic today than I was over the weekend, though. You know what I realized this weekend? I don't have any USA clothes. Not a single one. Does that make me un-American?
I don't think so.
I used to have a shirt. I don't know what happened to it. I've never had pants or shorts that are USA.
Do you have a red shirt and blue shorts? You can just kind of do that whole thing.
I had a blue bathing suit, and my skin ended up red by 3 p.m.
There you go. That sounds patriotic to me.
That's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Game of the day, exact same thing. United States versus Belgium. Go ahead, play sounder.
Game of the day.
That's the game of the day.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the game of the day.
Game of the day.
Yeah,
I got 2 words for you.
Sorry.
Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
Michigan fans, they have nothing to worry about.
Somehow. Yeah! Okay, there's a third one now. Wow. Where'd we get that one?
Yeah!
That's John from this weekend.
Did you produce one of the games?
No, Brant tossed that in. He clipped that, so I had to throw that on the soundboard. That's great.
How was your 4th of July, by the way?
Yeah!
I didn't do a whole lot. Yeah.
All right, thanks for filling us in.
I didn't do a whole lot.
Sorry for asking, I guess. That's it? Just nothing?
I mean, I was under the weather this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't need to explain that to a whole audience.
That's unfortunate. Is that maybe the worst time of the year to get sick?
Yeah.
4th of July weekend?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's a tough one, Kyle.
It is, yeah.
All right. So hopefully you're feeling better today and can root on Team USA later today. We have one more thing to go over as our traditions to close out each show, and that is predicting what Colin Cowherd opens up with. Fox Sports Radio, The Herd takes over at noon. Did anybody get a point on Friday?
No, because he led with the Jaylen Brown trade like a day later.
Oh, wow.
I guessed the Ronaldo Portugal versus Croatia game because that had a controversial ending to it as well. You guessed the LeBron saga. We also both thought that Colin wasn't going to be doing a show. And he did.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
He's committed.
So it's still 63-62. Ben's got the lead. Oh, it's your turn to go first. Dang it. There's a pretty obvious one today.
It's Balogun.
Yeah.
Balogun coming back and playing of some sort. President Trump getting involved. That's for sure what he's opening.
There's
up with.
never been a more obvious lead. Like, there's never been a better lead.
So what are you going to guess?
I don't even know what to take. Like, Kawhi, you see Kawhi hired a new agent.
It's no longer Uncle Dennis?
No, he's got a new agent ahead of this new contract extension he's going to sign with Toronto. Even more suspicious, right? So Kawhi leaves the country, his workplace, moves to a different country while he's under investigation, and now he's hiring a new agent as well.
It's almost like he was guilty.
It's almost like his agent kind of helped correspond what was going on in the aspiration deal. Interesting. But now he's in Canada, so I guess he can get away with all of it. I'm going to go with the England versus Mexico game, I guess.
Okay.
Right? I kind of have to go that route.
You were not in pick a random quarterback territory yet?
No, it's definitely World Cup. So I'll go with the England versus Mexico match. Yeah. Yeah, I mean you're getting a point today, so
thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right. Like you said, watch party today over at Nord, so that should be fun. I think I've decided I just want to watch it with a bunch of people tonight. I don't want to be solo dolo
Yeah,
for
you
it.
got to.
I still have one more 4th of July day in me. So we'll carry that into today, and then tomorrow is where we're truly back into just the regular grind of July. And then the Loons are back in action this week.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. Taking on Dayton. A couple fun theme nights this week as well. So hopefully we can see you guys out at the ballpark. All right.
Pontooners this weekend.
Pontooners. Always one of the most fun days of the entire year. Multiple days this weekend for Pontooners. All right, everybody. Appreciate you texting in today, tuning in today. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe there so you don't miss out when we go live every day at 9 a.m. We appreciate you guys for being a part of this thing. Let's keep it rolling tomorrow. All right, we'll see you guys then.
The Ben Bosscher